What to do when one of your real estate transactions goes south. Hi there, I'm Tamara Dorris, your real estate coach, and I'm here today in rainy Sacramento, which is why I'm donning this hat, not because I'm incredibly fashionable, but because I don't like wet hair and I'm going in and out. But I wanted to pop in and have a conversation because it just so happens I've talked to 2 agents in the last 2 days who were in panic mode because of a problem with the deal. So I thought, what a great topic. I have some solid advice for you. When a transaction goes bad, and let's understand that there are different shades of a transaction going bad. We know that from the beginning of the offer, the listing, the price objection, all these things can happen. But what I'm talking about here, what we're really referencing today in this video, is talking about when you are in an escrow or settlement, when you are smack dab in the middle of it and something happens. Maybe the loan falls through. Maybe the inspection pulled up a bunch of things that freak the buyers out. Maybe the sellers didn't want to do some repairs. Anything can happen, but those are kind of the main things that go on. And now all of a sudden you've been invested in this and you get the phone call, you get the text, somebody wants out of the transaction, or it's just not going to work. The numbers don't add up, whatever it is. First thing, this is the most important thing. Calm down. Now, I don't say that as someone who's being bossy pants telling you to calm down. I'm saying it from a neuroscience perspective. What do I mean by that? When we are stressed, our brain produces cortisol. Our prefrontal cortex, where we figure solutions out to problems, shrinks by about 80%. So here you are, you've got this big commission on the line. All of a sudden, your body goes into fight or flight, survival. Oh no, what are we gonna do? I'm not gonna live. This deal's gonna fall apart. I'm losing all this money. Your brain shrinks, so you are not going to have the capacity or the bandwidth to come up with a creative solution to possibly save the transaction. Now, you may say to me,
well, that's all well and good, Tamara, but there was nothing that can be done to save this one.
Okay, maybe. I say it's 50-50. But here's what I know about energy. I know that if you come at this from an I'm being attacked point of view, or this isn't going to work, I'm scared, it's definitely going to fall through. It's definitely going to fall through. And if you put enough negative energy into it, enough complaining, enough fear, enough worrying, your next one's going to fall through. Because this is how energy works. This is how the universe operates. Whatever you put out there, you're going to get back. So one transaction could mess up the next 5 transactions for you if you have a lot of intense energy and anger and fear associated with it. Does that make sense? So number 1, calm down, because as soon as you can get your body out of survival mode and get to that calm place, now you can think creatively. Now your intuition can kick in and say, hey, what if you did this and they did this? These creative solutions never come from a stressed out brain. Repeat after me. Creative solutions never come from a stressed out brain. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to spend some time in silence, waiting for your intuition to kick in. Just take a few minutes, take a walk out in nature, sit and look out a window if it's raining like it is here. Take a few minutes of silence in nature if you can, and let something come to you, because there are solutions for just about every problem you can think of. And then the third thing is be willing to compromise. Maybe you've got to kick in a little bit. Maybe you've got to make an extra phone call. Maybe you've got to call this person to get this person to say this to this. Extra footwork. There are so many agents, and I've been working with them for 30 years, so I know there are so many agents out there who are amazing and creative and really great to work with, but there are also agents out there who don't want to go to the trouble to pick up the phone one extra time. They don't want to go the extra mile. They're like, nope, this deal's done. This industry was not built on quitters. So that's not even an option. The last thing I'm going to add, which may or may not be with your thinking, but what if we manifest some change? Hear me out on this one. So let's say buyer, seller, agent, you've talked to everyone, nobody's bending, or maybe nobody can, whatever. This is the time for you to put a little manifestation muscle to the test. I'm not saying it's 100% foolproof. That's what I was going for. But what I am saying is that you may as well attempt to do some manifestation, and a couple things are going to happen. So first, let's talk about what I mean manifestation. Envision the outcome you want. So let's say it doesn't look like it's going to work. What would the ideal outcome be if it did work? Would it be you signing with the sellers? Would it be you giving the buyers their new keys? Would it be you posting on Facebook, like I hope you do? Congratulations to da 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 da. See that in your mind's eye. Conjure up that amazing energy of having accomplished it that feels so good and you're so grateful, and sit in that feeling for about 5 minutes if you can, as long as you can hold it. And what you've just done is you've made an electromagnetic force in the quantum field, activated that reality. So now you're bringing it to the party. Now it's a possibility, because you know anything could happen at any time, anything. And we may as well focus and attempt to manifest the good things we want to happen as opposed to the bad things we don't want to happen. But what do we do as human beings? We sit there and we look for bad things to happen, because that's how our brains are programmed. Our brains are designed to help us know when we could be in possible danger. And a deal falling through alerts your brain, oh boy, is this trouble? So those tips should be helpful. And I want to really point out that it's not just conducive to perhaps saving, redeeming this current transaction that we're discussing, the point of reference here, but it also is going to energetically affect your future transactions. Does that make sense? So if you have a transaction and it falls through, and you're doing all these things I suggest, even the manifestation part, and it still falls through, how fast do you recover? Because that's going to have everything to do with how soon you're going to get a new lead, or how much easier the next transaction is going to go. So let's say this transaction falls apart and you're like, I tried all that stuff, it didn't work. I'm mad now. I'm going to go post on Facebook. I hate people. I'm being facetious here, but you get what I mean. You're just like angry and mad and upset and feeling sorry for yourself, whatever. That energy of complaining, of judging, that energy now is out in the field. And you know what happens? What we put out there comes back to us. Not good, but transaction falls through. You're like, well, I tried. Maybe there's something that I don't know about going on. Maybe there's some sort of karma going on here. Maybe I just need to let this go with grace and gratitude, and let me see what I can learn from this, and then let it go. That energy is going out there. And what that energy is saying is like, I can take it, bring on the next one. This is going to be good. I'm in it for the long haul. And the universe responds to that kind of energy. So if and when, and I hope it's not often or ever, but when you do happen to have a transaction that could be in trouble, before it gets to D-Day, before it's like, oh no, use all these techniques. And if it does get to D-Day, or it's just like something from out of the blue, make the best of where you are. Make the best of where you are at the moment that you're there, with a focus and one foot in the future for how you want it to be. Because that's the secret to everything. Focus on the end result that you want to see and feel it as if it's happening now. So look below if you'd like to take one of my free classes, my $27 class, or one of my bigger programs. I would love to work with you, and I hope you have a fantastic dry day.